We are okay with deception. In fact, we pay for it. We pay to see people pretend to be something they're not for our own amusement, to make themselves seem cooler, more powerful, to make themselves more appealing or more mysterious, to entangle us in a world of fiction, to distract us from the world that we currently live in. We welcome this kind of deception. We welcome it with open arms from movies, from fiction, from books. But the fact of the matter is, it's not truth. In reality, most of us aren't actors. We're normal people with normal actions, normal characteristics, and normal desires, and yet we deceive one another nonetheless. We tell what we call white lies and bluff so as to spare the feelings of others. We lie out of shame or fear for ourselves so as to not admit our faults or wrongdoings, but in reality, we're lying for our own convenience. We're lying to get on top, to climb the social ladder and be better off afterwards with others or with ourselves than we were before the lie. Lies are a calculated risk, like gambling. The simplest way to express this is with the old adage, knowledge is power. That rings true for every aspect of lying. You have power if you know information and you deceive another person about the information. And you now hold the power over whatever the information might have contained and whatever that person might make use of said information. It sounds very general here, but when you think in a more specific sense, you can start to realize that political inclinations can be changed, that opinions on morality can be manipulated, and that any one person is just a string of opinions that you're going to be able to change through nothing but lies. And it sounds like I'm being ridiculous and that lies aren't that bad and that more often than not they help people rather than hurt people, but I don't think that's the case. I think that the fact that we continue to lie to one another, that we're okay with that as a society, that it's not frowned upon at all, is a huge problem. It's enormous. I know the assignment given was to talk about a social justice issue, but there is no bigger social justice issue than the root cause of all of them. I mean, information is a sacred resource. It's the one thing that remains constant and true no matter your socioeconomic status or your opinions. It doesn't matter. Knowledge just holds that kind of power. In fact, one of the first instances where we really got to see knowledge used as a weapon was when the telegraph was weaponized. We started to see, like, oh, the enemy is sending a telegraph, we're going to need to decode it. We have instances like the Enigma machine where we have the encoded messages that we have to reverse in order to find out what propaganda is being shown by the Germans, and we were able to decode that, and that's how we stopped them. We stopped them with knowledge. They couldn't lie to us because we were infiltrating them. Do you see the problem here? When we lie to ourselves, when we lie amongst each other, when we lie to one another, we make everything weaker. We weaken the information that came from the first place. Now, ironically, in the age of information, I would say there's less lying, that we're actually moving in a good direction. Social media has allowed like-minded people to congregate in these sort of cliques, these sort of groups online, and you're much more likely to tell the truth to someone that relates to you than to someone who doesn't. And I think it's this abundance of truth almost that starts to show more problems in humanity and things that we can start to fix. There's no greater point of social justice than to help people in general, and I think with this newfound truth that we're experiencing in society, we're going to start seeing problems like mental illnesses, like gender dysmorphia, like the association of race with an ideology. That all is going to start showing, and that all is going to be addressed or debated. But in any case, we're all going to be able to accept it that much more because we told the truth. It's telling the truth that is the key here. It's not lying. If we don't lie, then we fix these problems. We fix the inability to express yourself, the fear that one feels when they think they're alone in thinking in one way, that they're the only person that has OCD or suicidal tendencies, or any assortment of mental illnesses that can be easily treated with just telling the truth. There's no simpler solution than just being honest, and I think I'm not an optimist. Far from it, in fact, but I do think that at some point humanity is going to do away with lying entirely, and it's when we do that that we, as a species, as a collective, will improve.